Today's episode is filled with Claire. She gives us the scoop on her upcoming life adventures, her exciting work world, the podcast, and travel. So let's dive in. Hello, and welcome to the Nourished Life podcast. I'm your host, Ange. This is your go to spot for all things wellness, mind, body, and soul. We're talking feel good routines, honest conversations, and guests who will inspire you to live fully and feel your best. And get ready to hear some saucy secrets at the end of each episode. It's time to get nourished. Let's dive in.
All right, we're rolling.
Hello, Claire. Happy summer, midsummer.
Yes, happy summer. How's your summer going so far?
Flying by. Logan leaves Monday for boot camp. So we are arriving at that like milestone and then it just is, I think October will be here before we know it. School's already starting. There's been schools around the valley or in my area of Gilbert that have started today. So that's just like surreal,
Wow.
Another school year. So, but as I am in the neighborhood, I'm like, oh, my kid, I'm not a part of that anymore, which is, just another thing you just setting into the new chapter of life. So I'm excited for what's coming for me, but I really want to know what's coming for you and what you've been up to. And fill us in, Claire.
Yay. Yeah, it's been a really busy summer. I feel like I say this every time, but we're always making pivots in the practice. We're trying to figure out what's going to stick, what's going to really take us further. So right now I took on a really kind of big project where I'm implementing what I've worked so hard to create in the last 2.5 years into other practices, which I know I've mentioned before, but it's really coming to life. And so I finally got my first contract signed a couple weeks ago. Super excited. Yes, it's exciting. It's a lot of work just like waiting on other people to like get back on certain things. Because it's like, okay, once we have this information, we can move to this step. So it's a lot of like, okay, waiting.
Yeah. Now, fill us in again exactly what your role is in the field of medical.
Yeah.
And
so
what you're doing with this pivot.
Yes. Well, startup life. So I wear a lot of different hats with this role. But taking on this project means that I'm doing operations, I'm doing sales, I'm doing health coaching, and I'm basically being a director over the health coaching department. And so just making sure that everything's running smoothly, overseeing the manager, overseeing the operations of it all. I don't know. It's kind of hard to put it into one specific role that I'm playing, but it's kind of a lot of different roles embodied into one.
Yeah.
So yeah,
but your foundation is to help people with their lifestyle, food and fitness or movement activity, depending on their specific needs, alongside the medical Western space.
Exactly. So basically the way that it works is with these new practices. So the doctor meets with the patient, they put a little note in their clinical note what the patient needs to work on. If they know, sometimes they might not have any idea. And I think that's what we're going to find with a lot of doctors is they don't know where to start. That's not where their training was in. And so the health coach meets with them in their intake and they go over nutrition, sleep, stress, toxin avoidance. And so that whole intake form is just figuring out what's your why do you want to make your health improve, and what's the long-term goals and what's some shorter term goals. And then we help them to break things down. And the goal is to help them reverse their chronic conditions. So the way that we get it covered by insurance is having two or more chronic conditions, basically. And majority of Americans do have 2 or more. I think it's like 80%. And so that could be high blood pressure, that could be prediabetes, that could be diabetes, obesity. That's a really big one that we see a lot. And so basically, as long as they have 2 different chronic conditions, they are able to have it covered by insurance. So it's kind of cool.
Oh, nice.
And we've just seen such great results with having them never have atrial fibrillation, which is a major heart disease, and
Right.
then lower their blood pressure for life, or become into a healthy weight and be able to sustain it. It's so rewarding. But yeah, so there's a lot of different angles. It just kind of depends what that specific patient needs to work on. So that's the beauty of it. It's very personalized to that patient's needs.
Right. Absolutely. And now with your new pivot and creating a relationship, as you said, you're with a contract, are you also doing personal work on the side? Meaning like, hey, Claire, I got somebody who is looking for a coach, you know, fitness, food coach or whatever. Are you doing that on the side, or are you kind of all in now with your business?
Yes, I am. So especially as we're making a pivot with a lot of our current patients, I'm telling them, hey, if you want to continue working with me as a coach, you don't want to go to this new doctor, then I'm taking personal clients as well. And that's one thing that I do want to work on a lot, is building my own brand and getting my name out there more. I'm also working on creating an app right now, which is really cool. It's like, it's coming along really quickly, actually, because of AI. I feel like there's going to be just so much more opportunities. And that kind of presented itself with this app that I'm working on. And I'm really excited. So with this app, it's called Soma Health, and it takes you through. So it's getting a good sense of where you are. It helps you to discover your blind spots. The overall goal with this is to help women get out of their maybe current career that they're in, or and really just figure out their purpose, figure out what they're passionate about, and test out different things little by little to figure out what it is that they want to do long term, or even just a hobby that they can implement into their life. Because studies have shown that people who have a passion and have a purpose in their life, they live for up to 7 years longer than those who don't. And a lot of people, I meet with them and they hate what they're doing. They don't enjoy what they're doing in life. And I'm like, well, what are you passionate about? Or what do you feel like your purpose is here on earth? And a lot of people are just like, I haven't thought about that before. I don't know. And so I think this is going to be a really, really cool opportunity. It's going to combine with AI as well. So it's going to help based on their quiz that they answer at the beginning, which basically asks like, out of these things, like what's something that when you start working on it, you don't want to stop, you keep doing it? What's something where you feel your creative energy flowing? What's something that drags you down? It doesn't energize you, it takes away from your energy. Just asking those bigger questions that you might not be asking yourself on a regular basis. And then it takes all of your answers from that, and it helps you come up with a game plan utilizing AI, saying, okay, based on these answers and what might be good for you, what are some things that are interesting? Maybe it's reading this book for 10 pages every day. It kind of helps you create these tiny experiments to just get started. And then it gamifies it with streaks. Like, okay, you're doing these. Okay, it's recommended to do that for at least 7 to 42 days. What would you like to start with? And then you can pivot along the way. And then it's also going to have different modules and education where people can go through how to determine what your core values are. What are those things that are important to you, and just really getting clear on those so that you can actually make a change in life. So that's the latest of what I've been working on.
That's so great. And I think as you are helping people navigate what they're passionate about and where they're at in their life and kind of funnel that down, you're doing that. You're actually living it, Claire, which is so fun, you know, because like, as I am in my season from being the mom title of a kid who's going through school and being in that space, as the last few months, and especially since our last podcast, I've just had a lot of time to like reflect and say, well, what am I passionate about? What have I always been passionate about? But because of the season that I was in my mom hat, to the capacity that was, some things, it's okay that they just got set on the side because of focus and priorities. But now that I'm like in this new chapter, it's like, I want to be passionate because that brings such happiness
Mm-hmm.
You know, finding the passion, finding those adventurous things that maybe I didn't get to just do. And so that's been fun. And then I feel even my energy happier
Oh, I
because
love that.
I'm able to like see that I can spread my wings a little differently because I don't have a kid living at home, you know? Like my brain isn't like, okay, cook the dinner and do all these things, and it's able to say find myself again as who I originally was, which we've had podcasts specifically about, you know, don't forget about me in
Mm-hmm.
one of our previous seasons. And that's just something that we speak to our listeners so often, you know, of just
Mm-hmm.
whether it's your workout, your food, like be happy about it. You know, it doesn't
Yeah.
have to be negative. This episode of the Nourish Life podcast is brought to you by Cozy Earth, one of my absolute favorite brands for comfort, quality, and conscious living. If you're ready to upgrade your sleep and self-care game, you have to try their bamboo sheets and ultra soft loungewear. They're breathable, temperature regulating, and made from sustainable materials. Seriously, it's like wrapping yourself in a hug. I've been living in their all-day tea. Perfect for slow mornings, cozy evenings, or just feeling good throughout the day. And here's the best part. You can get 40% off with the code LIFE when you check out. That's right, 40% off of your new favorite cozy essentials. So treat yourself, you deserve it. Head to cozyearth.com and use the code LIFE at checkout. Now back to getting nourished.
What are some of the ways, I'm so curious, what are some of the ways that you have been reflecting? Is it just taking a step back and like letting yourself be, or what are some different ways that you're able to have these sparks and these like light bulbs of, oh yeah, this is something that I'm passionate about that I forgot?
I think well, number one is it's like picking up the things that always have tugged on my heart. So travel's been a big thing. And then going on a missions trip to Africa has been really big for me. If it's been since 2025 or 2020, so 5 years now, excuse me, then COVID, you know, came around and everything got a pause. But that hasn't left. So
Mm.
for me, when the passions keep popping up or tugging at your heart or knocking on the door, it's like, okay, there's a purpose why it's still here and present in the volume that it's talking to me. So that has been one avenue. Another space for me is to kind of step out of my fear and do something that's been on my heart for a while, and then I just like, oh no, you know, and you find every reason not to dive in. And so for me, that's getting connected in my church in a bigger capacity.
Mm.
And so you know, I can't use, oh, I have Logan, or I have this other focus that I'm helping him with, and it's taking another night or this or that. So I, you know, took the step, went to the meeting, and just got to kind of see the different areas within church. And so you can pick two different ones. I picked one. Well, I wrote down to see if they have a group, a connect group of some sort for women between the ages of 18 and 25, because I have such a big heart for that space, as we're, you know, that age is coming out of high school, finding yourself. And then just being a seasoned person to
I love
just
that.
speak back to that space or help mentor them. So I'm still waiting for the phone call just to kind of, you know, chat a little bit further in what areas that are also in need, because I'm open to exploring something else, because this isn't just I'm only going to do this for 6 months. So this is for me a lifestyle change of where I can be connected. So so basically what's tugged on my heartstrings and that hasn't left, which is the missions trip to South Africa, and which will be 2026 is that goal. And then also pushing myself to a space that's uncomfortable. Because under that is passion, but sometimes even within passion, it doesn't mean it's easy.
Right.
It doesn't mean it's like, oh, I'm just like floating into this new space. It's like, oh, this is uncomfortable, but I'm growing. Yeah. And I'm challenging myself.
I love that. Do we get insight to what it is?
For the
uncomfortability, like, do you have any specific examples?
Well, I think it's being in a new community.
Yeah,
people I don't know.
Yeah.
I've been slipping in the back row and slipping out the side and smile, just, but what's uncomfortable is saying I'm putting myself out there. And maybe there isn't a group for the 18 to 25, but I'm open to like, well, let's explore the possibility. Right. So like, I don't know what's coming. And then also committing to going Saturday nights. They're starting a Saturday night church service because they're growing so much that I'm like down to do that. And so that's going to be a different shift in the schedule because it's Saturday versus Sunday. So a lot of new things, but good things in that space. So we'll see where it takes me. And I think because I know it's the right thing, it's okay that I don't have it all mapped out because it doesn't feel stressful.
I love that. That's kind of the fun in it, but also the uncomfortability of it. But, the best things come out of being uncomfortable. And so if they don't have already an 18 to 25-year-old, I think that is huge because that is such a time in your life where it kind of goes along with what I am focused on right now too, is like people getting clarity, because the amount of people that just go into something because they feel like that's what they need to do. And even if they don't want to do it, but they feel like social norms or family is a really big one. They feel like that's what they need to do. But it's like, if they discover and get clear on what they actually want, that can lead to so much beauty. So
I know. And I think, Claire, with you on us really focusing, I know snippets of me, but focusing truly on your journey that's leading into a change, a seasonal change for the Nourish Life podcast. And, we haven't really talked about it to our listeners, but you are taking a break and stepping aside. And we've left it open-ended because I think it's healthy to not say a definite. But for this season 4, you are on to your next chapter and focusing on building your business and getting yourself out into the community, the medical community.
Yeah, it's really bittersweet today because it's like, it feels like I'm just ready for another season because that's just what, that's what I'm used to. But I just have really stepped back and I'm like, with working for someone else, especially in a startup, is very scary. And the ball's not in your court on a lot of different things. There's such a cumulative thing that makes up if this is successful or not. And it's even today, my boss is like, hey, if this doesn't happen by this date, we have to shut down. And it's just a constant like fear of, okay, when is that going to be reality? And so I know that to protect myself, I need to be ready for that just in case. And I also want to have something that is mine, that I have autonomy over, that because I just know that I was not born to be an employee. I'm born to build something. I'm born to do something that I want to do, and it's going to take a lot of risk, but I think that that's going to be worth it. And to your point, being uncomfortable, it's so very uncomfortable, but it's going to be worth it. I know that something's going to succeed. I just need to figure out what that is. And I just realized that with this podcast, it does take a lot of focus. It does take a lot of time, especially doing the social media posts and stuff like that. And I just realized, like, for me, focusing on too many things at once, I never do one of them amazingly. And I don't want to do that to you, Ange, where I'm like, I'm half assing, like I'm not putting in the full effort that you deserve on doing the social posts and doing all of the things that it takes to have a successful podcast. And so even though it was really hard to do and really hard decision to make, I just feel like it's best for both of us that I just focus on that thing that I want to build. So
yeah, I think it's so good. And we had a good chat, like a month and a half ago, I think,
my
when this all
sense
unfolded.
of time is so messed up, I feel like.
But yeah, I mean, we've been we had such a good chat, and I on my end saw some really cool, like, ooh, let's do this and this, and we both had a vision of it looking different. Like the timing was perfect because I had this vision of like, let's shake it up, and then it shook up to look like this, but it just shows how listening to your gut, as I listened to my gut with this change of how we want to roll out season 4, which just means more guests and more education and people who have really good experience in things. And and then in your case, your gut is saying, I got to give all in over here, which is so amazing. It just aligned because now, we're both listening to our gut, and it ended up being a really cool ending in a way of not one of us felt like, wait, what's going on? It's like, this flows, this works.
It's beautiful. I love it. It really does. I'm really happy that you're taking this on. You're like, well, I'm still going to do it. I'm like, please, heck yes. So share with us what you have in store. I know you mentioned having more guests. What's that going to look like? And can we get like a little sneak peek of who you're going to have on here?
Yeah, I have, I have a local runner, and he's did a PR on the the New York Marathon. And I've known him for several years now, but I'm excited to hear his story, but because not just the running part, which is a piece of it, but just some of his personal transition that he's had he's grew up Jewish and very in that faith, religion, and community, and how he's transitioned into Christianity, which has been a big part of also how he PR'd. Wow. And what digging deep within himself. And so I thought that's a pretty cool story. So without unleashing all the goods, I we'll leave that for the episode, but that's one guest. And then of course, Reno, who I've chatted about, my Chicago friend, who's 70 and very seasoned in life, has a lot of cool things for as active as he is at the age that he's at, and how he continues to have his longevity, and being Italian and, enjoying carbs, but yet having to take care of his carb balance. So exploring some of that. And then I have a client of mine, through conversation, she opened up about having, gastric bypass. I believe that's the surgery, and lost a ton of weight. But through her journey, all of the therapy that she had to do to build a better relationship with it, and how she's okay with where she's at, even if it's not the weight and the number, and she's just happy. So those are 3 off the top, and there will be more as I'm like brainstorming who's in the community, and of this wellness lifestyle, nourishing ourselves, mind, body, and soul.
I love that. That's so exciting. I can't wait to listen to all the new episodes, the new guests that you have on.
And Claire, why don't you tell us the partnership that Nourish Life Podcast has?
Yes,
and just how it came about.
Yeah, so I've been running our TikTok and just kind of throwing stuff out there. You never know what's going to stick. So I was just kind of putting some of our videos from different episodes on there, and they ended up emailing us because I have a button to email us on our TikTok, and someone emailed us and reached out about Cozy Earth. So if you've seen them on billboards in Arizona or other states, I think they're from California or Utah. Utah. Okay. Yeah, so it's kind of cool once we saw them, and I've definitely heard of their products before. So that was also really cool. And we met with them, and it's a great fit.
Yeah, it really is. And we both got to try out some of their sheets and pick out a couple other items. And so you can obviously, in this episode, you heard the ad life or our discount code life, which is 40% off. And but I have to say, best sheets I've ever had. And I've gone through a lot of sheets because I keep trying to figure out which ones are, like this high thread count or this breathability or that. And the bamboo blend is fantastic. I'm like pretty blown away.
And their packaging is all just so cute, how you unbox everything. And their sheets are made from sustainable bamboo, which I think is really cool. I got their slippers. They're like puffy slippers, and they feel like clouds when you get in them. You can wear them outside, but I've just been wearing them around my apartment all the time. They're so comfy. So highly, highly recommend.
Yeah. So that's so thanks to Claire, the podcast has this amazing discount for our listeners. But I think, well, before we dip out of here, I have added what we call saucy secrets.
Ooh, I like it.
To the end of each episode, which means as a guest, you get to share a saucy secret. So it can be something embarrassing. It can be something funny, but it's something that maybe not everybody knows and that you get to confess and share on the podcast.
Ooh, I got to think about this. I like this ad. I wish I had time to think about this before.
Yeah. It could be like something as a childhood where like a funny moment.
Okay.
Or on a funny date, like something like super random on a date that's like, it can be anything.
Let's see. When I was a kid, I thought that socks were called socks on because they are always said in the same, like, go put your socks on. And so for the longest time, I thought that socks were like the name for them was called socks on. So I would be like, oh, I like your socks on. And people would be like, what? So that's kind of I don't know how saucy that is, but
well, next time you're on as a guest, you'll have time to think on a saucy secret. So but what do you have on the horizon for travels and anything cool that we can look forward to since you love to travel?
A lot. I have next weekend's my best friend's wedding in the Upper Peninsula in Michigan. So I'm really excited for that. I've never been up there, so it's going to be so beautiful. And then I have small trips here and there, Washington, California, and just got back from Montana, which was amazing.
It looks beautiful.
Oh, it was so nice. And being out of the 100 degrees, obviously, was really nice too.
Yeah.
And then in February, I'm going to Africa, actually.
Yes.
So, I'm so excited. I'm going
in Africa?
Cape Town for, I think, a week. And then I'm going to Johannesburg for a week. My patient gifted me, this is how amazing my patients are, gifted me a 7-day safari. You get 2 safaris a day, so 14 safaris, 3 meals a day, all your lodging. You get to pick if you're in a cabin or like a glamping area or a hotel. So I'm going to do like half and half in 2 of them. And I get to bring a +1. So my best friend who's never been out of the country is coming with me. So she's
Is it the one that's getting married?
No, it's
A
not
different. I know you have a
actually.
lot of best friends.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I do have a few best friends, but yeah, so different friend, but she had 3 boys at a pretty young age, so she hasn't really experienced life before and
Oh.
outside of her neighborhood, basically.
Mhm.
And so I figured she would be the perfect person. She's just gonna be in awe the whole time. So
I love
yeah.
that. Oh my gosh, that's so cool because that's where I'll be on a missions trip next year. But I think it's like June or October dates.
Oh,
We're gonna if I have 10 people committed to going, which I'm strumming up people, then we can go outside of the actual dates because there's enough that warrant them to add, like create an event for that. So, but yeah, I
that's
guess
so exciting.
Africa's 2026 for us.
I know, seriously, that's so cool that you're doing a mission there too.
Yeah. Um, well, Claire, thank you for sharing all of your cool things going on in your life. And we definitely wish you the best of luck and expansion in your business. And I guess that's it. I guess
Yeah, you
that,
too, Ange. Well, I'm excited to see this podcast take off. I think the way that you're pivoting it, getting more guests on, that'll really put it out there. And
Mhm.
yeah, I can't wait to see how you do. I know you're gonna kill it.
Yeah. And now maybe we'll get together and like do a hike or something finally.
Actually, hang out outside of the podcast. That would be great.
I know, it's just so funny. Someone was asking me the other day, they're like, so do you guys like talk between when you record? Like, and I'm like, well, I mean, no, but it's fine. Like, we get along great. We just it's
Yeah.
like old friends. You just pick up where you left off.
Yes.
So, but
Absolutely.
the commitment is to like put the words to the calendar,
Yes. Yeah.
make a plan. So,
Okay, let's make it happen.
all right. Thanks, Claire, for being on. And until next week's episode.
All right. Thank you for having me.